Good evening. Hey, we said it at the same time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Welcome to episode 177 of the greatest podcast on the interwebs, Three Splinters podcast, which unfortunately tonight we will only have the two of us, myself and Sedge. We also did not record last week. I think a lot of people kind of knew the reasoning behind it because I've received quite a few messages. Unfortunately, we will not have Ronnie here tonight because his father-in-law did pass away. They actually had the viewing yesterday, and they had the funeral today. So obviously, we're not going to ask him to come on the podcast to be a part of that tonight. But he will hopefully be back next week. And then we'll be missing Mr. Sedgley, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit.
Yep.
So, yeah, keep Ronnie and his family in your prayers. It's very unfortunate. There's never a good time for any of that kind of stuff to happen, but
Yep.
they've known it was coming for quite some time. So they
Couple
made the
months.
best of it. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's important. And in some other sad news, kind of, so Ben Marshall, for those of you that have been listening the entire time, know that Ben and I decided to start this podcast, and before we did, we asked Sedge to come on. So Ben was one of the original people for what was the Green Suiters podcast, but still, we wouldn't be here today had it not been for Ben. Quite frankly, I don't think we would have ever pulled the trigger and started a podcast. But for those of you that don't know, so Ben left the podcast, ended up getting married to a wonderful woman named Jen. Got to go to the wedding. It was awesome. Jen ended up getting pregnant after the wedding. And I would say maybe like 5 months into the pregnancy, around there,
Yep.
Jen found out she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so obviously, that's terrible news to get, but throw on top of that being pregnant. So they ended up getting to, I want to say around the 7 to 8 month mark, and ended up having the child early. So the child was born premature. A lot of struggles in the beginning. Baby is doing wonderfully now, thankfully.
Thank God.
But they had to do that so Jen could start her chemotherapy. Well, Jen went through her chemotherapy, ended up having to get a mastectomy. She lost her hair, and she has not been herself through this whole thing. The good news is that she is on track to beating all of this, which is incredible. So, obviously we'll keep praying that is the case. But I wanted to mention something, and I know I've done this with a couple of different people and a couple things on my Instagram, but I think that we are fortunate in the sense that we have an audience that is very close, and we also have an audience that is associated with Ben. He has started a GoFundMe because he wants to get her hair extensions. And you can go, I'm going to leave a link in the show notes for everybody if you want to go find out why he started this, what its money is going towards. But essentially, Jen, she's not the person that she used to be because of everything that she's been through. And by doing this, it'll give her back a little bit of herself. And Ben wants her to be able to start enjoying things and enjoy the summer and just have a little bit more confidence. And so if you can and you're listening, please, by all means, go to the link that we're going to put down in the show notes. I'll also put it on Patreon for all the posts that we do there, so you guys can go look into it. If you have anything, $5, $1, whatever it is, I mean, yeah, it adds
Anything
up.
and everything works.
It adds up, and it's. Go ahead.
Just a quick note. They are just the most amazing couple.
Yeah.
They're so awesome. Ben, I've known Ben, we did, what do we do? 70 episodes together. Something like that.
Yeah,
Just a
about that,
great
yeah.
guy. He started it. He ran the Green Suiters. And then he met Jen, and you could tell how quick they fell in love. And
Hmm.
they're just a wonderful couple. So anything helps everybody.
Yeah. So we wanted to share that with you guys. I will likely be sharing it on my Instagram. Matter of fact, some of you, I'll probably be doing it tomorrow. So some of you listening to this will have already seen it. Um, but in case not, because everybody doesn't see stories, take a look. If you have anything that you can do, I can tell you that we will be contributing greatly to this effort. Um, and we're in communication with them regularly. Nicole talks to Jen. Jen can't even talk about Nicole at this point without bursting into tears because Nicole has been there for everything. So, yes, if you can help, please help. They're great people. They deserve it. And, some of us are fortunate enough to be in a position where we can do that. So, okay, enough of that. Let's move on to more positive things. We
Any
do
more?
have,
Oh yeah, administrative stuff. Yep.
yeah, we do have a couple of new patrons.
Woo.
Which we apologize. We were actually going to mention these last week, but of course, because of the scheduling conflicts and the personal things that came up, we were unable to record. But we have Mr. Steve Avery and John Bullow.
Welcome aboard,
Welcome.
guys. Welcome
Um,
aboard.
what
And
was I
thank
just going
you.
to say? Oh, yeah. So with our new patrons, they have the opportunity to go to our meetup.
That's right.
SplinterCon coming up quick in September. Can't believe it's already March, soon to be April.
It's an international event.
It is an international event. We have people flying in from all over the world for this thing. And we still have, I believe, either 14 tickets left or 12. We did get a couple more since the last few episodes. So if you're interested in going to that, make sure you go check out Discord in the SplinterCon or scroll through the posts on Patreon, because that is the only place where the link to buy the tickets and to book the hotel exist, because it is not open to the public. It is only for you patrons. Only.
Only
Because we love you.
because you're splinters with us.
Yeah, you're splinters. Pains in my. I'm just kidding. All right. The last thing is our giveaway for the month, which this will still qualify for that month. But we have two $100 gift cards from the wonderful people at US Tool and Fastener
Yoo-hoo!
to ustoolandfastener.com,
Yeah, baby.
which we, and
We'll
by
be
we, I
hanging
mean
out with.
me and Sedge, in just 48 hours.
Be
We'll
hanging
be
out.
there hanging out with them, hanging out in their booth, talking to people. If you're going to be coming to the show, we look forward to seeing you. Matter of fact, there's a very large population of our patrons that all live in that area which will be there, which we're very excited about. Grab a little dinner with them.
Man, I don't know about you, but so many people have been reaching out asking if I'm going to be there and we're going to be there. And it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to
Be
be a
really cool.
good event. I'm a little bummed out that I'm not doing the Conturo this year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But whatevs.
Whatever.
I'll probably have better luck with the less expensive tools. Huh. Bet you never said that with Festool before.
Yeah,
With the the budget options from Festool.
That's it. Yeah.
So, what have you been up to? We have not talked.
Wow.
It's always weird when we don't talk for a couple weeks.
That's weird, huh? You've been on
Yeah.
the road. I've been busy. It's crazy. I can't believe March is going to be over next week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, I was like, oh, here comes tax time, all of this. So, what have I been up to? A ton of stuff. I'm getting ready for JLC. I'm really stoked about that. I leave in the morning because we're recording Tuesday, so I leave Wednesday morning. Everybody listening to this, you're probably coming down Friday for the event. I got a call from my sister because I go every time. I think everybody who listens probably knows by now. I'd go up to Maine. I still call Maine home because that's where I grew up. Last year, when I left JLC, I dropped Garrett off at the airport and I drove up to Maine, which is usually about from PVD is usually about a driving. It's 2 hours. Took me, I think, about 5.5 because when I hit Portland, it was freezing rain. So of course I'm a little nervous, Nelly. Everybody knows that. Annie said, "Yeah, we're getting 4 to 6 inches." That was Sunday, Monday, and guess what? She goes, "It'll all be gone by the time you get here." Well, I just pulled up the weather before I jumped on the podcast. Guess what they're getting Saturday?
What?
More snow.
Up at your sister's?
Yeah, my sister's house. So God, I got to worry about that. And then the reason she called is she has a boatload of projects for me. I'm going to be up there a full 2 days, and I'm going to spend a day and a half in the Boston area with my buddy Goo, and
Oh,
then leave out
cool.
of, and then leave out of Providence. But here's the situation: Sunday and Monday, when I'm with my sister, it's snow. It's snowing. And I'm like, come on, man, give me a break. But you know what? There's something I can't. Marianne, just will you stop worrying about this stuff? You can't control it. Just have fun when you get up there. So
I just
looks
looked
like
at
I'm
the
going to
weather
be.
actually for the first time, and it looks like this might be the best weather at JLC that I've ever
Oh,
been.
it is beautiful. It's going to be beautiful,
Yeah.
dude. I actually packed a pair of shorts.
Did you really?
Yeah, damn right, man. I'm pretty excited. I get in tomorrow about 4 o'clock. I'll grab a quick dinner, crash, get a good night's sleep. Then I'll go help set up the booth on Thursday. And then a bunch of us are meeting Thursday, right?
Yes. Going to dinner. Yep. Thursday night.
Yeah,
I think around 6.
I grab my phone. There's a couple of great guys, contractors, the young bucks. I met them last year or the year before, and they were texting me today. They're coming down from Maine, and I'm just gonna look at my text because these guys are unbelievable craftsmen, and they're coming down. I think Thursday about midday. So I said, "Text me, man." I said, "I'll let you know what's going on."
Yeah. Well,
Pretty
I'll tell you
cool.
what, if they do end up getting there, because I know we had spoke briefly earlier today, but if they do end up getting there in the morning and end up getting all set up earlier than usual, we'll have a little bit of time before the dinner. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, because this it's Scott and the other guy's Rangeley, and these guys are tricked out. I mean, they're in some beautiful houses, and they send pictures every once in a while of what they're doing. And
I remember you talking about them after JLC last year.
yeah, it's kind of funny because somebody at work said, "Boy, that they look at those guys; they know what they're doing." And I go, "Yeah, maybe we should, work with them." And they go, "How many followers they got?" I pull out, I think 300 or 400 each. And and I'm like, they don't have time for
Right.
social media. These
Yeah.
guys
They're
are
busy
pros, man,
working.
and they're busy working. So it's pretty cool. I can't wait to hang out with them if I have the opportunity. And
Yeah.
Hank is coming down for just Friday. My buddy Hank from Old Orchard Beach, and
With the
about 4 or 5 other people contacted me. And I'm pretty stoked. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. I just hope the weather holds for the drive up, but you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
And then Chris and I had such a great Sunday. We had one video we had to shoot, but he says let's shoot another one if we can, and I said okay. So this is it. It turned out I had so much fun doing this video because when I was setting up for the other one, I said, "Damn it, I keep moving this thing. I've never used it." And all of a sudden, the light bulb went on. I went, and Chris went, "Time for spring cleaning." And I started to throw it away because somebody gave it to me or I got it in a bag of stuff somewhere. You know what it was? You know those things that wrap around your wrist and you put magnets and they hold screws or parts. You ever seen
Yes.
those tchotchke things?
Yes.
Have you ever used one?
No.
And I keep moving this thing around my shop.
Just in
So,
case one day you need it.
right. But I know I'll never use it. So it's fun. I go, I can't even get this around my bicep. Ali wrote, "You can't get anything around that bicep," in the comments. We posted it Sunday night. It was so much fun. So I went and Chris goes, "What's next?" I go, "Yeah, let's just keep rolling with this." And
Yeah.
those little things you get. They used to send them with Home Handyman magazine, trying to get you to subscribe. It's a little plastic tchotchke thing with all the drill holes in it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got one,
Mm-hmm.
and I could never read them, so I just said, there it goes. I started throwing stuff away. Like I threw away square pencils. I never used square pencils, carpenter's pencils. You got any?
I used to. I don't have any anymore because I've never used them ever.
So, so it's funny we started talking about Ben, and it always resonates in my head about Ben, and we used to talk about decluttering
Yeah.
and horizontal surfaces, and we talked about it a lot. So we just rolled with the whole video. I started going around the shop, and I think I picked up like 5 things, and I think it's like a 8-minute video. We posted it. We know we weren't going to get a lot of views, but we got a lot of great comments, and that made a lot of fun.
I actually
So
think that's a great idea for a video, but that's one that you really do need somebody recording you so they can like be right there when you open up a drawer and like
yeah,
it'd be hard to do that just having the thing just set up off this the side. But I think
yeah.
it's a cool idea.
I started pulling stuff up. Like I think this was in a box of junk. I started going through a few drawers. I go, Jesus, I'll never use this. I There was something I tossed last year that I bought for my Delta bandsaw. It was a resaw fence. It had a slight curve to it. It was still in the packaging. I never used it. I threw it away. It's just like because someday I'll use that to resaw, and then you learn to resaw properly, and you don't even need it.
Right.
So yeah, that was a fun video. That was actually fun because I was actually decluttering the shop and getting ready. God, it's springtime, but right when we have a nice day of weather, it gets cold again
Hmm.
in Indy. So, I was outside a lot getting stuff ready. I'm gonna probably do some raised beds and build that and do a video on that, building out raised beds because Marianne and I were talking about that for some plants and stuff like that. But and
You'll
maybe some
probably do good.
flower.
This is a great time of year to make that kind of video.
Yeah, and flower boxes for the front
Hmm.
porch. I've promised her that for years and years, and it's just easy. You knock it together. You just go get some cedar, and it's easy. But I think people would like that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking of, and I still owe her a table up in her quilt studio. So I think that's the next build, and then I think after that we're gonna do a build for the Cyberts in probably late summer and in the fall because they want to do that surround with a
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
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 But they're expecting. We announced it on Ask Sedge, our live feed, and
How
Chris
did that go?
announced it. Absolutely 100% phenomenal. We forgot to hit the button for the first 9 minutes. And Chris and I were talking, and then somebody typed, "Hey, we can't hear anything." I see.
Yeah.
And we started laughing. We can never get things right. And then we did it. And then we started 9 minutes late. And then we said, "Oh, well, boy, we wish you guys could have been involved in that first 9 minutes. We talked a lot."
Yeah.
But I think we had tops about 70 people on.
Oh, wow.
And it was on, we did it for, it was the freebie. We announced it on YouTube Live. And it was exciting. A lot of great questions. And we started at 11:09 and went to about 12:15. And we wanted to announce it because of our Patreon channel. Oh my God, everybody who signed up, thank you.
Yeah, I was just going to
Oh,
ask. So what was the result? Did you pick up a lot of new patrons after doing the live on YouTube?
oh my God. Yes. And everybody's excited. So we had about 20 going in, and now we have over 60.
Wow.
And
Wow, man, I need to stop dragging my feet on that.
we cannot wait. We've already announced and dropped another video for our patrons on Patreon, announcing that April 13th, Sunday, April 13th is our next one. And Chris and I have so many great ideas. And the best part is Chris is on the camera with me. And it was really cute how he announced, and Emily was watching. They're having a little girl,
Oh, very cool.
and everybody was typing, and oh my God, it was great. And then people were asking questions, and I would just start like somebody said, "How did you get to Festool?" And why did you leave the cabinet industry? And it's live, and everybody knows that's my platform. I love live. I don't
Hmm.
I I don't hide anything. I my oldest brother Skip says you wear your emotions on your cuff, and I do. And that's just who I am. And that's what was great is I had one of my closest. I call him my grandson. I had Chris on there with me, who I just love to tears, and he was there spitballing with me. Oh my God, we had so much fun, and people asking him questions, and it was just, hey, there he is. There's the man. There's the basketball star.
Hmm.
How
Leo
are you,
wanted to say
buddy?
hi.
Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while since I saw you play basketball.
I'll be done in a little bit. Yeah, his basketball season is over. Next, it's golf.
Nice. So it went exceptionally well, and we're excited. We're going to do it once a month, and I'm excited for Chris and Emily because they're a couple that deserves, well, children deserve parents like them,
Yeah.
and they're going to be fantastic. They're just wonderful, wonderful people. So I'm excited. He's he's just such a kid, and he's so funny. He's really starting to bust my chops pretty good.
So
He's
I
getting more and
was
more comfortable. So at work,
right. Yes.
at
So I
work,
was I was gonna ask, like, what are the types of questions that you got? I watched about 2 or 3 minutes of it while I think while I was traveling. It popped up on my thing right before I got on the plane, and I was like scrolling through it. And the only times I stopped, Chris was actually the one talking, and I was like, it's so good to see that he's now in front
oh
of the
yeah,
camera, and he seems a lot more comfortable
oh yeah,
now for sure. Yeah, that's
yeah.
cool.
It. Oh God, how can I say? I always, but everybody knows I bust his chops, and because that's what I do. And he is busting my chops at work, where I'm like, oh my God, you could see it's almost like he's got that really good comfort level now,
Hmm.
and that's what I like to see that. I'd like to see him maturing, and the thing that he has is such a warm heart. He's so sweet
Hmm.
and just a good, I've said it 100 times already tonight. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
So, and an exceptional business partner. He's very strong. He's got great ideas, um, and just he's. How do you say where he's just presented an outline to me about a month ago, and we're gonna do it. And it's about us and behind the scenes. It's gonna be for Patreon, our patrons, and it's gonna be. I have it right here, and it's kind of fun because he's gonna shoot video of himself getting ready on a Sunday morning,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna shoot video here getting ready on a Sunday. I'll do some behind the scenes on Saturday, and then we're gonna talk about what we do and shoot the behind the scenes of us shooting the video and what goes on because we only get to work the majority of the time just on Sunday mornings from 8 till about noon, 1 o'clock.
Hmm.
And I work all day Saturday, or at least Saturday mornings, getting everything prepped, and a lot of times Friday nights, Thursday nights. He's always editing. But here's what I know: he's always working. I work with him all day at Festool, but I know he's working at night because he sends me stuff, and I'm like, you need to he likes to work, and I like that. He's such a strong partner,
Yeah.
and I trust him with my life, man. He's the real deal. And he tells everybody, all gas, no brakes. That's Sedge. I'm always going, go, go, go. Marianne has to tell me to slow down. But I mean, I just had somebody who I've been emailing back and forth. He's been watching Festool Live. I think he listens to the podcast. His name's Ron. And he he texted me. He emailed me, and he's been emailing me for a few years now. He goes and asking me questions, and he put a PS at the end of this email. He became a patron on Sedge Tool, and he said, "Sedge," he goes, "How do you find time?" And I really thought about that. I waited, and then I said, when you have a passion that you have that fire, it's not work. It really isn't. And I have a passion for woodworking that it drives me, and
Hmm.
also passing it on. And what's really cool is I have Chris to pass on some stuff about business that I've learned over the years, and he's doing it. He works all the time. You know that, Jason. He because he shoots basics with Bent with you at Festool,
Hmm.
and you guys work just like him and I work. He's he he's amazing. So he's a good dude. I can't say enough. And it was kind of cool seeing him in front of the camera, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
And he kept going back to check things. I go, get back out here. People
Right.
want to hang out with you, not me.
Yeah.
And, and it was fun. So there's going to be a lot more of that. Well, once a month going forward. And it sounds funny, but that's all we got right now because he's always working. I'm always working and trying to chisel out that time. That's why we waited so long to start if we could offer something of value that people would sign up for. And obviously we do. We have it now. People are signing up every day still.
Yeah. I miss doing lives. I don't know if you remember. I used to do them a lot
Oh,
on Instagram.
I used to watch them. I used
And
to
I
watch them on when you first moved to the
Yeah,
Greenwood residence. You were doing them there on YouTube Live, right?
I was doing them there on YouTube Live quite a bit. I did it on Instagram a lot. Then I transitioned to do it more on YouTube because you'd get a lot more people on YouTube just because it was a platform. I think you can like somebody could be sitting in their living room watching it, on
Yep.
a television or at their computer as we're live on Instagram. And the Instagram platform is just not that good with lives, and it got progressively worse for some reason. And I've been saying forever, you and I have talked about it, that I want to
Hmm.
start doing them again, and it's one of those things I haven't done. I think part of it is because of the kids. Because the best time to do the live is either in the evening, typically like on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or during the day on a Saturday and Sunday. And those two things are just more challenging for me to do. So what I opted for originally was the group call every month, which even
Hmm.
that's difficult to stay on top of, especially with all the traveling and stuff. But
Hmm.
I think I want to go back and start doing the lives again because I know, like, and I mean, you're the proof right there. And, we know other people who have done this tactic. And I mean, it works, if you're trying to get more people to that platform, especially when because, this year I've done a lot more on Patreon.
Yes. I
Um,
followed your lead on that, sir.
yeah, behind the scenes
Yep.
uh, content and stuff. If I have one regret, and you and I have talked about this, I wish I didn't have 5 tiers.
Yeah.
Going into it, but years ago. The problem when you have a lot of tiers, you can't really take away.
Yep.
But if you don't have enough, you can add. And so I don't want to alienate anybody,
Hmm.
And so hey guys, I'm getting rid of this tier because you lose a large population of your audience.
Hmm.
So, but it's like trying to come up with reasons to sign up for each one. It becomes a lot more challenging.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's we have so many great ideas for adding another tier eventually, but it's when we can free up some time somehow,
right,
somewhere.
right.
It's like I was saying, the Sunday mornings, but now Chris is like kind of homebound and it's working out. So I get him on Saturdays sometimes. Like I'll be coming home, I think Thursday and next week, and I'll be doing some tax prep for a couple days, and then I think we're gonna shoot Saturday and Sunday next week.
Here's a question for you.
Shoot.
I'm sure you guys have discussed it, right? Matter of fact, I had a call with Festival today, and Chris was on the call, and the thing came up about him having a child, and that he was probably going to be out for the majority of whatever month. So the inevitable time is coming
Hmm.
what's your guys's? Do you guys have a plan for that? Are you going to be
Y-
kind of on your own? Are you going to pre-shoot?
No, he's gonna take his leave from work, his paternal leave, but he's gonna split it up. I think Emily's gonna be. She's gonna take her time. Uh, Chris lives 5 minutes away,
Right.
and he's gonna. I said, "Dude, you're gonna need a break." He goes, "Oh, I know."
Oh, okay. So, all right, yeah. So that's good. I mean, heck, he
And
can even
we
come
and
over with her and the baby, and they could
oh
hang
my
out while
God,
you're. Yeah, there's.
it's such. I mean, Emily and Marianne went to Rosie's one Sunday morning for breakfast while we were shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marianne just adores them, just adores them, and the way things are progressing with the Sedge tool business, um, Emily's going, "You need to do what you need to do."
Yeah.
And I've always had the massive support, whatever I have done from my wife.
Right.
And I heard something when I was a kid, and it is so 100% true. Every successful man has a very successful wife who understands. It's 100% a team effort
Hmm.
because there's a lot of times that I worked all day and worked all night and I missed a few things for the kids, but I always tried to be there for games and everything. But Marianne carried a load a lot
Oh yeah.
because she knew I had a vision. And now when I started Sedge Tool with Chris, she said, "You need to be an owner again." She goes, "Because you like to have the control and drive of it, and you have my backing 100%. Whatever you need me to do, I will." And now Emily said something to her, and Mary Ann came and where when was that? Thanks, not Thanksgiving. They were over here for something. We had to oh, remember we had that get together that weekend? Everybody came over.
Hmm.
And Emily and Marianne were like kibitzing off to the side. And she's going, "Oh, yeah, yeah. Boy, that Sedge tool is doing really well." So after everybody left, Marianne goes, "Hey, I got a question." I go, "What?" She goes, "How much you got in that account?" So I showed her and I go, "Listen, I reinvest everything because there's eventually I have a purchase coming up that's, X amount and I want to have that when the ball drops, I can just hand that person a check. I have that set aside, I have this set aside, I have that set aside, I have that set aside. I You always got to think for the future in business.
Hmm.
And I've seen so many people they get a payment for a kitchen. They go out and spend it at the strip bar. They
Yeah.
go out and buy this, they go out and buy that. They go out and buy that. And then all of a sudden they go, "Oh, wait a minute. I can't afford to grow the business." I would say everything I've always done, I've always reinvested. And guess what? It's worked out. But I've always had, once again, I have that support. And you have to have a strong significant other. And Chris has that in Emily.
Hmm.
So it's really cool. You have that really good support
Yeah.
system at home. Okay. I have been kibitzing for all this time. Mr. Bent, where the hell you been? I missed you. And what the hell you been up to, brother?
Well, uh, I went to Miami.
Oh, okay. I got to comment on something really quick.
You muted yourself.
I'm back.
You're back.
Okay. I keep hitting that button inadvertently. Okay. I've been watching the news and I realized something. Spring break was happening down there.
Yes, which
Did you see any of that?
not at all.
I
So
didn't think so. It was the beach and you guys were inland playing.
yeah, I mean, we weren't far, but I had this conversation with them. They're like, you'd actually be surprised. Miami Beach is one of the most undesirable um, areas now because after last year, the year before, they had tons of problems, and they enacted for those 2 weeks all of these crazy ordinances.
Yep.
And because like people like died last year, and there was
Yeah.
all kinds of crazy incidents and tons of arrests, and so now like no one goes there. They all go up to Fort Lauderdale.
Yep. And we did that in Fort Lauderdale in 85.
Yeah.
They 85 was 84 was horrific crowd. So in 85 they put up this wall. They started doing all these ordinances, and we drove everybody away to Daytona Beach. In 86, it was not a ghost town, but it was significantly. So it's always cyclical when it comes to
Mhm.
spring break.
Yeah, I didn't experience any, like I didn't see large crowds anywhere. We did not go down to Miami Beach on the beach proper, so it may have still been somewhat busy. But when I flew in, the airport was definitely pretty busy, and there
Oh
was a
yeah.
lot of younger people at the airport. But when I left, it was not very busy at all. But here's what I'm going to say about Miami before I talk a little bit about the trip. That's a type of wealth that I have never seen before.
Oh yeah.
I mean, wow,
Oh yeah.
wow, wow, wow. Um, we played four courses. We played the Biltmore. That was the first day. Right after I got there, we went to the Biltmore.
Holy, holy shit! You played the Biltmore?
Oh, that wasn't even the best. Like not even not didn't wouldn't even shake a stick at the other places we played. Um, we played Deering Bay,
Yep.
which is a very exclusive private
Oh,
country club.
I know it.
Um,
How the hell
one
did
of
you get in there?
because one of the guys that's in that group down there is a member.
Oh, that's off of Old Cutler, isn't it? Deering.
Yep.
I know
Yes.
it extreme. That's all down by Fairchild Gardens.
It was by far the nicest course we
Oh,
played.
that is exclusive, bro.
Yeah, so my buddy, the guy that we stayed at, so um, Rick, who is a patron of ours and mine,
Yep.
he it's his son-in-law. And so he's an attorney down there, and then his daughter is also an attorney down in Miami at two separate firms. But this other guy that is the member, he's an insurance salesman and probably has more money than he knows what to do with. Probably the nicest guy, one of the
Hmm.
nicest guys I've ever met in my entire life. Tons of fun. But he got us on there, and it was just an absolute blast. And then the third day, we played at Miami Beach, which was also very nice. And the fourth day, we played at Trump National.
What?
And let me tell you, that's probably one of the most impressive places that I have been in terms of a resort. I have never seen anything like it. I
The West Palm one?
Yeah, Trump Doral,
Oh
Trump
no,
National
Doral.
Doral.
Oh, you played Trump Doral.
Yes.
Ooh, that's Doral. The original Doral is really tough to get on.
Yeah. It Man, I'm telling you, it was unlike anything I have ever seen.
Oh, dude.
Now they have four courses there. So the funny story about this. So we had this little group chat going leading up to it, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna get on Trump Doral," and for some reason or another, a few days go by, and I didn't know anything about it. I knew it was a Trump property, and I've heard things about Trump properties, and I subscribe to all these golf things on Instagram. Like I follow all these accounts, and some post came up, and it was a receipt for Doral in Miami, and it was $900.
Oh yeah.
So we paid $450 to play one round in Arizona, and I was like, that was so not worth the money. I would never do it again. And so I brought it up. I was like, hey, I'm not an attorney. I'm a YouTuber. I make woodworking videos, and I'm a retired guy from the Army. I'm not paying $900 to play a round of golf. That's double what I paid. And I said I wouldn't even pay that much unless it was a place like Augusta or TPC Sawgrass or something that's like,
Yep.
historic, and they played like the U.S. Open on
Pebble
or
Beach.
yeah, Pebble Beach, something like that. And so then it just kind of went quiet, right? And they were giving me a hard time. They're like, just don't worry about it until the credit card bill comes. You know, if you don't worry about it when you're paying for it, you worry about it later. You'll figure it out and all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, well, they're not going to do that. Well, then as we get closer to the event, they're like, hey, we're playing here this day, here this day, here this day, and we're playing Trump on Sunday. And then they kept saying we're playing the Blue Monster. Well, for those listening, the Blue Monster is the exclusive golf course there. They have 4 courses.
Dude, you played the Blue Monster?
We did not play the Blue Monster.
What?
No, no. So, it turns out the entire time we're there, they're leading me on. They kept talking about it. They kept sharing it with the group. Like, we're going to Doral on Sunday. We're playing the Blue Monster, all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I'm here. There's nothing I can do. They clearly didn't listen to my requests. So we get there. And I mean, he went all out. Like, we pull up, valet, white glove service. I mean, everything. You look at, and you know, it has these massive doors, and they're like gold plated doors,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they slide open. You walk in, and it says, you know, Trump National Doral, and it's just breathtaking, breathtaking. And we walk in, we go to the pro shop, and when we get in the pro shop, he says, we're playing, he's like, what course are you guys playing today? Or what's your tee time? And he's like, it's on Silver Fox. And I'm like, that must be like another word for, like, the Blue Monster was just a nickname, because I did not know. I didn't know. And so we get to the, you know, how much it's going to cost. And we asked if they had a military discount. And they're like, yeah, we do. So when they go to do the ringing up, and I look at the receipt, it was $275 for the non-discount. It was only $99. And I'm like, that's really good. When we walked out, I said something about the Blue Monster. He's like, we're not playing the Blue Monster. We've been leading you on this whole time. He goes, we didn't even have a tee time for here until today. And the only reason we're playing the course that we're playing is because that was the easiest one for us to get on, because the other ones are booked, you know. So like Silver Fox is like the bottom, you know, in the ranking of those.
But
still
so
amazing.
what? Amazing.
Still
yeah.
amazing. It was wonderful. It definitely was not the best condition out of the courses that we played, but I will tell you that portion of the trip was the most memorable. That place. And then they have like a live golf tournament that's happening there next week. So they've been there for over a week setting up the grandstand. So we got to see all of that. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced.
The Doral is one of the most famous golf courses in America. One of them. It's right there. I think it's right there at Pebble Beach.
It was awesome.
I do.
Beautiful place. Just absolutely beautiful place. And then it just made me think, like, man, I would, you know, if I ever have an opportunity to go to one of the Trump properties again, 100% will go. Everybody was the nicest that can be. I mean, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, it was so cool. So that was my trip. We had great food. Obviously down there, it's a lot of Cuban and Peruvian, I think, was real big. We went to a couple restaurants. I met a bunch of awesome dudes, a bunch of, wonderful wives, spouses. It was just a great time. And like the whole culture down there is just different, because, you know, it's a very heavy, you know, a lot of the people that we played with, you know, are Cuban. Everybody is just so nice, and it's like one big family, and they were all so welcoming, and it was an absolutely phenomenal trip. And it was just a spur of the moment thing. Like, we didn't even plan it. So
I'm going to drop something. It's kind of like I'm dropping. You remember I says, oh, you're going to love P-Town. Okay. So next time you're down there's a really good course. So anybody listening is going to crack up. It's in Liberty City. Oh, it's really nice.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I went to P-Town. Maybe I'll go to Liberty City.
No, Liberty City, dude. I was picking something up one time, and I was checking to see if there was a body in there.
Oh, wow.
Was it bad? That's where they had the riots during the Super Bowl in Liberty City.
Oh, there's
back in the 80s.
Remarkable places there. When we went to Miami Beach, obviously we had to cross over the bay and everything, and we went by whatever neighborhood, like I could see it across the water, and like J-Lo lived there, Usher. There was a $250+ million mega yacht behind someone's house.
You were
that was their boat.
You were driving on MacArthur Causeway, and you were checking out Star Island.
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah. It was
And then if you look, the cuts right there, MacArthur Cut, and you could see the Coast Guard. And then did you see other cruise ships?
I saw them way off in the distance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where Frankie. That's where Frankie works. He works on the port.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were right there, dude.
I've
Yeah,
never, like Carmel's really nice, you know,
yeah, yeah.
wealth, it definitely is there. You go to like holiday farms and Miami makes Carmel, Indiana in terms of wealth look
Dude,
like
dude,
the inner
you have
city.
you have no idea.
It's unbelievable.
I can take you
Ferraris
to.
everywhere, Lamborghinis,
Of,
Porsches. I mean, just
of course,
it's absurd. Very fun
It-
experience. Very fun
I lived.
experience.
I lived in that area for 25 years. I know it well.
You know what's funny though? So Scottsdale, Arizona is no schlump either when it comes
Oh, no kidding.
to wealth.
But
But I'll tell you what,
it's hidden a little. It's hidden in Scottsdale. It's there, but
yeah,
it's hidden.
depending on where
Miami
you are,
is
for sure.
flaunty, and
Yes,
Fort Lauderdale's flaunty. They just like to flaunt their wealth. Hey,
yeah,
look at me.
but golf was less expensive in Miami. It was way more expensive in Arizona.
Hmm.
So it's probably just like down there. It's not as seasonal. It might drop a little bit in the summertime, but the weather is beautiful there all year round. So there's no reason. It doesn't become like there's not one time of the year where it becomes a tourist destination like Arizona. The winter, everybody wants to go there, but and they take advantage of that. But it was a great trip. Really looking forward to the next one, which may be end of July, first part of August, with a bunch of the guys down there that I met that were amazing. But it's funny. I had this realization while I was down there. It's like I'm 40 plus years old, and now like I have become that guy that lives, to go on the next golf trip with the boys. And I always used to laugh at those guys, and now I like totally get it. I totally get it because there's nothing like it. The closest thing for me to um, compare going on these trips with these guys and meeting these dudes is the military. It's the only other thing that like you get together with a group of guys and you all have this common interest and it's just no worries. You're just messing with each other constantly. The only other thing I've ever experienced that is like it is the military.
Yeah.
And it was great. But I wanted to share another issue that I've been having because I had it the minute I got back.
Ooh.
So I would say about a month ago now, I went to go remote start my truck, and I stand in my doorway and I'll remote start it. And when I did it, I got this really loud like clicking noise, and it wouldn't
Ooh.
turn over. And so I did it again, thinking it was just like it must have done something wrong with the buttons or whatever. It did it again, and I'm like, I'll worry about it when I go to the gym. So I go out there, try to start the truck, same thing, just clicking, electrical stuff going crazy. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go take this to the Toyota dealership. Take it to the Toyota dealership, tell them what happened. They fit me right in. It was nice. I didn't have an appointment. And they're like, hey, your battery is bad. It's the original battery from the truck. It's just worn down. We'll replace it. I'm like, okay, could I have just gone and bought a battery and done that myself? Yeah, sure. But I ended up having a bunch of other stuff that was due because I had a service that was about to be due. So I was like, I'll just go get everything done now.
Mm-hmm.
And they do everything, take the truck home. Everything's fine for about 4 or 5 days. About 5 days later, I go out to start my truck to go to the gym in the morning. And it was so dead on battery, it didn't even click or anything. I just pushed the button and then the lights just dimmed out.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I left like a door open or a light on, but I checked and like nothing was on. So I had to jump the car, take it back down there, give it to them. They have it all day. I was having a terrible time trying to get in contact with any of them. They don't call me back until the end of the day. I tried calling like 50 times. You can never get a hold of anybody because they're busy.
Mm-hmm.
Finally get a hold of some. They're like, we are not able to find anything wrong with it. Like starts up
Wow.
fine. The alternator, we tested it. The alternator definitely does not need to be replaced. Starter's fine. Not really sure what the problem is. Can we keep it overnight? We'll start it in the morning. If we have the same issue, we'll take a look at it again. Sure thing. Next morning comes, start it right up, and they give me the keys, and they basically like look at me like I'm kind of like an idiot. Like
Yeah,
I
I hate that.
and that kind of upset me because I've always
Yeah.
had a pretty good experience at that one. I always had an amazing experience at my Toyota dealer in Georgia. I used to actually like taking it in for service because it was such a great experience. And so that kind of upset me. Well, it was 2 days before I went to Miami. So this whole time I'm like worrying, you know, what if this happens to my truck while I'm gone and then I get back? And so I go out the next morning and I go start my truck just to make sure it starts right up, no problems. I'm like, okay, thank God. So I was like, I can go to the airport now. Go to the airport. And this time I always park at Fast Park.
Yep.
But because it's spring break and I forgot to make my reservation, it was booked. They didn't have any slots available. So I was like, all right, I'll just park at the airport, even though it's a lot more expensive. I was like, just make it easy. I'll park at the airport. When I come home, I can just jump in the truck and go home. Fly back, go out to my truck, throw my stuff in the back, walk up to the car, and it doesn't unlock automatically.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, what the heck? And I pull out my key fob and I push the button. Nothing. The battery is so drained that it won't even open the door. So it's the first time I've ever had to open my car with the little, key that's inside the key fob.
Yep.
Luckily, I was so mad. I was so irritated at this point. And because I just got back, all I wanted to do was go home.
Yep.
And luckily, they have a service at the airport, which those of you listening, if you don't know this and your car ever dies, go on the airport website. They usually have a crew that rolls around specifically for this reason, right? Or to help you get in your car or whatever the case is. So 5 minutes, I call 5 minutes. Lady comes out with the jump box, hooks it up. Wouldn't start the first time. Started the second time and then died. And then the third time it was finally able to keep running. So I went straight back to the Toyota dealership and told them what happened. I'm like, look, this is what's going on. I'm leaving for a conference or for a trade show in 2 days. I cannot have this happen again. I just came from the airport because I had this issue again. So I drop it off. I go across the street, grab some lunch, just waiting on a call. And as I'm walking back over, I get the call. And the shop foreman is the one that's messing with the truck now. So he's like, look, man, walk me through what's happening because I cannot find what's wrong.
Wow.
Like I've gone like breaker by breaker,
Wow.
trying to determine what's doing this. And he's like, can we keep it overnight? And he's like, well, we'll look at it. I'm going to run a test overnight, like on battery draw and all this other stuff, and we'll see. So the whole day goes by. I don't hear anything until this afternoon. That same guy calls me. He's like, hey, still don't have it hashed out. We ran a test all night. He's like, can we keep it another night? I bought this new tool that might help. He did a bunch of research on Toyota to try to figure this out. So still don't have my truck. Truck is still there. And I was just like, you can keep it again tonight because I don't need it. But I'm flying out very early in the morning on Thursday and I can't have this happen again.
Wow.
And so he's like, well, in a perfect world, I would love, if I can't figure it out tonight or tomorrow before I call you, I'd love to keep it while you're out on your trip if that's possible. Like what time you go to the airport, I'll send a driver to take you to the airport. I'm like, dude, I got to be at the airport like 5 a.m. And I was like, but I'll take an Uber if that's the case, and my wife can come pick me up when I get back. And he's like, oh, we don't want you to pay for that. I'm like, I'd have to pay for parking anyway, dude. It'd actually be cheaper for me to take an Uber and then have my wife pick me up. So yeah, I've just been dealing with this problem, and it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating because he says he thinks it could be the battery that you got might just be a faulty battery, and that battery is only basically like it'll hold a little bit of a charge, and then the alternator will give it a little bit of juice, but there might be an issue with the battery itself, so we'll just replace that. But I don't want to just replace it and then that not be the thing that fixes the problem.
Yeah.
So he's like, if I can have more time to see if I can find something that may be drawing your battery down,
Hmm.
then yeah. So it's just been a kind of a nightmare. But I love that truck. Like I don't want
Yeah, I
anything. He goes,
know.
ah, if we can't figure it out, we'll just drive it into 36 and total it, and then we can get you a new truck. And I was like, you should you be saying that? And he started laughing. I was like, I've been eyeballing some of these trucks, but yeah, that's the last thing I need is a new truck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so golf,
Holy crap.
my truck issue, made a lot of progress on the built-in. I don't know how much of it you've seen. Prior to me leaving, like last week, I got
Oh,
a ton done.
I know. I saw that you put in some of those drawers,
Yeah, so that's what I
pullouts.
want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I know that Bloom has a similar product. It's
Metabox.
Metabox. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is called Lineabox. And I've seen it at the shows and stuff, but I was never really like, that's probably something that I would put. And I just kind of just like, yeah, whatever. Like I'm never going to be a metal drawer guy. Well, when we were working out when I had briefed my project to Salice and kind of discussing like what hardware to use and everything else, he was like, what are you going to do for the drawers and the pull out trays? I said, well, I'm just going to build them out of Baltic birch probably. And he goes, have you ever tried the Lineabox stuff? And I was like, no. And he's like, do you want to? And I said, sure. Why not? What is it? Right. And so I started looking into it. This is the way to build drawer boxes. I'm telling you.
Really?
Oh my gosh. They are amazing. They snap together. You assemble these things. I'm doing a video showing these
Cool.
because I'm that impressed. Not because they asked me to, not because they're paying me, because I have some extra leftover hardware. And I was so blown away
Hmm.
by these drawers and these trays. And I know a lot of people don't know about it. Are they cheap? No, they're not cheap. I'm actually interested to do a cost comparison between dovetail drawer boxes if you order them
Mm-hmm. You
versus
should.
doing the Lineabox way.
You should.
They are incredible.
Do a cost comparison on time, Baltic birch versus these. I know the material will be a lot less expensive, but it might be something to look at time wise because you probably could put these together a lot quicker.
Unbelievably fast.
So that's the thing that people don't calculate. They just look at the price point, but they don't calculate the time.
It's so you can get there's a few different options. You can get two-sided, they have a four-sided option, and they have like a three-sided option. So the pull-out trays were three-sided. So it's the two rails. And so the rails, you don't have to cut the sides. The sides are given to you based off what drawer slides you use.
Mhm.
With the two-sided ones, it's just the two sides, and then you have to cut a false front, you have to cut the back, and you have to cut the bottom panel. So the kicker to this is that you have to use 5/8 inch material. So that will limit options for a lot of people, but they come in different colors, right? So like, slate gray, white, gold, or whatever colors they have, right? You can get 5/8 inch material that is like almost an identical color match, which is what the plan was. But the only issue is that the compatible materials, they're really, really tough to find around me, unfortunately,
Mhm.
unless I special order them through a dealer, and then I have to pay the shipping and the freight. And that's crazy expensive for four
Yep.
by eight sheets of 5/8 inch thick laminate material.
Yep.
Like crazy expensive.
Crazy expensive.
And the
Special order.
product, what's that?
Special order.
Yeah. And they're trying to work on, like, this is a shortcoming I think that they know is that, because I told them, I'm like, if I use that material, I could have gotten it, but I would have paid like $190 just for the freight. And I was like, is it that important for me to have a perfect color match bottom panel that you will never see and a back panel that will be covered because the tray is full of stuff in front of it, so you don't even know it's there? So I opted to go for, I was able to locally source 5/8 inch MDF. So that's one downside that I think some people might See, like I can't get 5/8 inch material, or it's ridiculously expensive. Um, and my plan was to get the MDF and then paint it. And I was going to paint it the color that you see behind me, which is pretty dang close
Mm-hmm.
to the color of the drawer material. And then I was like, why? Again, it's not going to be visible. So all I did is I sprayed a clear, like 3 clear coat uh, layers over the MDF just to seal it in case something would leak. What's going to leak in the pantry, um, and just to protect it a little bit, I guess. But all I had to do, and the book tells me what size the panel needs to be, X minus 26, and
Yep.
this and that, and the back panel needs to be this tall for this drawer box material, and the sub front needs to be this tall, and everything outside of that, like it literally just snaps into place. You screw on a couple of attachment points, this thing snaps together. It is remarkable, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I saw a few of them on your story.
It
They look
looks
great.
amazing, absolutely amazing. I am in love with these. If I can, I'm going to use them throughout the rest of the entire kitchen.
Nice.
It's They are awesome, freaking awesome, and I cannot wait to do the video because I'm just so excited about them. I want people to see it. Of course, I'll get all the people that are like, "Oh yeah, it must be nice." Blah. You probably eat your
Yeah.
breakfast with a golden spoon, whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. We always remember the segment we used to do with Ben all the time.
Mhm.
Get Bent.
Yeah,
It's funny because I would always say people give me advice sometimes, and I'm like, or a comment, and I'm just like, I still to this day when I see that negative, I go to their YouTube channel, whatever. No videos, 1 or 2 followers.
yeah,
People just love to give free advice where they have no background
yeah.
to give it, And I'm just like, I scratch my head sometimes and I'm just like, do they actually know what they're typing or do they actually know what comes out of their mouth?
Yeah.
Like, why should I listen to
Oh
your
yeah, you don't.
advice?
You don't, but I can already see it, because it's a top end product that a lot of people probably like. This is the kind of thing that you would find in an extremely high end kitchen, where like money
Yep.
is not an option for the people
Yep.
building it, right? And the upcharge that they would pay for it is probably astronomical. But to give you an idea on time, I put together, if I had to guess, I put it together a total for the middle pantry one. I put together a total of 6 of the 100 millimeter tall drawer boxes.
Mm-hmm.
They are roughly 16 inches wide, 30 inches in depth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to put all 10 of those together, and so 6 were the 100, and there was 4 of it's like 176 millimeters tall or whatever, slightly deeper trays. To put all of those together and put the MDF pieces that I needed in there and mount the drawer hardware and drill out the holes, because you still mount the hardware the same exact way, the clips. You still drill the
Mm-hmm.
hole, the locating pin in the back. To do all of that for those 10 drawers, it was done in less than an hour's time.
Get the hell out.
No, they're that easy to assemble. And once you do one and figure it out, and you just have like an assembly process of them going. So what I did is I put the 3 parts all together, set them off to the side. Now, this is not including like me cutting down the MDF and the finished
No,
coats
no,
that
no,
I
no,
had to
no.
do on
That's
it.
just assembly.
That was like a separate morning that I did those. So I had everything ready. I had all of my 10 bottoms. I had all of my 10, back panels. All my clips were ready. Everything. An hour. 1 hour.
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude.
I when I do the video and show how, because I have like the stuff left over, we opted to go one less on one of them. So I have all the pieces cut. It's ready to go. When I go through that and like show, boom, like this is how you do it, and here's how to do a 3-piece one. I'm afraid the video is going to be too short. But you know me, I'll probably talk it up a little bit. But
But no, I can't wait to see it.
it's awesome. It is awesome. Like I want to use it. I want to use it for all the drawers. Like it's freaking amazing. Can't say enough good things about it. Very excited about that. But hopefully tomorrow, um, I got the 4 drawers for the base on the left done. I just need to do my drawer fronts. So the goal tomorrow, hopefully, I only have one phone call that I got to deal with tomorrow. So uh, I'd like to get those drawer fronts cut and maybe get some finish on them before I go, but I'll probably wait till I get back. And then I want to mill and cut all of the pieces for the doors because I'll be using ash
Mhm.
for the doors and then put India ink on them. And then they will have, yeah, so they'll have glass uh, for the doors themselves. So we're trying to tie in that part of the built-in to the dining table, to
Yep.
the island. So the frames, it's shaker style with glass panel. Yeah. And we're going to
Got
use
it.
the ash with the India ink because that's exactly what I did on that table.
Hmm.
It's going to look so good.
Man, it just seems like I haven't seen you in forever. It's only been a couple weeks.
I know. You know
Holy
what?
crap.
I'll tell you what. Hopefully by next weekend, minus the glass, because I know the glass is going to take a couple of weeks to show up. Um, if you after JLC, so not this weekend, but next weekend when you come, everything on that should be done with the exception of the glass.
Way cool.
So you'll get to
Way
see it
cool.
damn near close to
God,
being done.
I can't wait, dude.
It's awesome. I love it. And
Yeah.
every time I walk in the kitchen now, you know what I think? I hate the rest of my kitchen.
I know. I know. I know. I know.
So that is going to be elevated, and I'm going to make it my priority that that
Yep.
kitchen will be fully remodeled before Christmas.
Now you're talking, dude.
Yep.
Now you're talking. Good.
Yep. I'm not looking
Seems
forward to
like,
the bill for the countertops when that time comes.
yeah, I hear you. You guys can do granite.
Yeah, what I think we got. I don't think we did granite on the. I think we did quartz.
Yeah, you did, but you can match. You still can match what you have on the island to the rest of the counters.
You know, Rick told me today when I was on the call with them. He recommended that I check out, and you're probably going to know this. I check out something called Granite
Yep,
Transformations.
granite transformations.
Yeah, he said it was like you can build up your own substrate, and then it's like a 1/4 inch thick material that instead of paying for all that,
People don't
super
really
thick stone.
realize they think oh that's a granite countertop. It's quartz.
Yeah,
Granite transformations. It's a veneer.
yeah, and I'm like, why not do that?
Yeah. One of the guys who used to work at Festival out in Santa Barbara, Terrence, he opened his own granite transformations. Um, and he used in a lot of granite transformation companies or franchises. It's a franchise. They use a lot of Festival.
Yeah, he said the same thing. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I need to check this out because I kind of like that idea, especially if it's because I know how much our island top cost me. And Nicole doesn't only want to do the countertops, which we are extending the countertop because you know where the fridge was?
Yeah.
We were going to do like a floor to ceiling and do an oven and all that stuff. I was like, let's not do that. I like that we're going to have extra countertop space. Oh, and by the way, I have a refrigerator water line that is still there. I didn't remove it. So
Ooh,
we're going to make
coffee
that a
area.
coffee station with a
Coffee
plumbed
station.
coffee machine.
Ooh.
So we're going to have more countertop space. That'll now be our coffee machine area. Then we're going to extend next to the door so I can get a double cabinet underneath. But Nicole doesn't just want countertops. She also wants, which is the new trend, the backsplash to also be the matching material.
Ooh.
So now, okay, I'm paying double. It's going to be double. It will be double what I thought was going to cost because now we got to run it up the wall.
Do you know if you do granite transformations versus, granite or quartz, you could probably have a really nice long golf weekend somewhere in the savings.
That's a very good point.
See?
That is
Might
a
want to check it
very,
out.
very valid point.
Yes. The money you save, the more golf outings you can go on. So when
Um,
Sedge retires and he starts picking up golf again, you will have a great arsenal of places to take me.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's growing quickly. I'm gonna sell that to her. I'm gonna be like, honey, I came up with this really good idea, and she's gonna be like, yeah, let's do it. And then I'll be like, oh, by the way, so the guys want to go to Pinehurst in August. Is that cool?
See?
I have a feeling this golf trip thing is gonna end up being like a quarterly occurrence.
Of course it is.
Golf trips with the bros. You know what we need to
But it
do? We
gets
need to do some sort of like three splinters golf outing.
Ronnie doesn't play.
He would for that.
Yeah, he'd come in. He'd be a good
He could be a caddy.
he could be a ball he could be a beer boy for us.
Yeah. Grab me another beer.
I bet you he'd look good in a bikini.
Do you want to hear something crazy? Since you just mentioned beer. You know what I had a conversation with Nicole about today?
What?
Quitting drinking.
Oh, that's cool.
I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
Yeah, man. Think about all the money you can save for that golf outing.
Yeah, I like this. This is you're selling me hardcore on
I
this.
am, dude.
No, I've been thinking about it a lot lately because I had this like epiphany moment while I was on the golf trip. Actually, believe it or not, and it was the first day I went a little too hard.
Yeah.
I played well, but I went a little bit hard, and I felt like crap the next day. Didn't sleep good that night. Didn't like it, and I was just like, okay, let's talk about all the cons here. So it slows down any progress I want to make, like gym and body wise.
Yep, fitness.
Fitness. There's zero positive side effects fitness wise, none. I feel like crap sometimes afterwards. It makes me make bad decisions when it comes to food, right? Because then I'm like, we're drinking beers. Let's have a cheeseburger and all this other stuff, and then you snack late at night. And it's slowing down any progress that I want to make, and it costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so what are the goods? And I'm like, it's fun. Like, it's fun to be out, and hanging out with the guys and having a couple of beers, right? But
It loosens up the conversation a little.
it does, yeah.
In moderation. It's a social thing, you know.
Yeah.
So hey, I'll see you at Murphy's on Thursday night.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. I was already thinking about it today. I'm like, God dang it, I'm about to go on this trip again. And Nicole looks at me and she's like, well, you don't have to drink. And I'm like, I kind of do, Yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking about it a lot lately. And I'm sure that some people are going to comment on this and be like, do it. I did it. And one of the things that brought it up was my last sergeant major, who listens to our podcast. He just posted something the other day. He was a big 82nd Airborne guy. And on his 82nd day of and I didn't know that he was not drinking. And we've talked, a few times in the last 82 days, right? But he did a post on Facebook and it was like 82 days without alcohol or something like that. And I was like, I didn't even know that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. We're about the same age.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I just feel like as I'm starting to get older, I'm starting to have these certain realizations where it's like, what's important and what's not. You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you mean, sir.
I don't know. I've just never been at a point in my life where I've been thinking about it. And I wanted to bring that up.
Cool.
I know you'll be supportive.
Dude, I don't need to drink. I like to.
But Thursday night we will.
We're heading Murph's, so we're going to have a few pints with the boy.
Yeah.
And Friday night, a couple more pints. Saturday night, if I make it to Maine. My sister's already got
lunch
dinner for us.
Yeah.
Lunch and dinner. And they came out with a new one. And I hope the weather breaks because I want to drive down there and try breakfast. It's a double IPA.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, but hey, what do I always do toward the end of the summer? I don't drink for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. Maybe I should just do that. Maybe I should just start with like, all right, I'm going to go the next 2 or 3 or the next month. Because I've done that before. Like when I started the whole
I'll do it with you.
Diet thing. I didn't drink for a month.
I'll do it
fantastic.
I'll do it with you.
You know what else I should quit? Social media.
No,
No, it's too
no,
important.
it's too important.
Yeah, I don't know. This will be funny. This is going to be a really interesting conversation to have this weekend over a few beers. I am so contradicting everything I just said. I'm thinking about it, okay? It's on my mind. I'm thinking
You
about
make
it.
you make me laugh. This is
Yeah.
like, you remember we were down at your house, and you just looked at me like, "You're not drinking?" I go, "No, I'm having some hazy LaCroix."
Hazy LaCroix. That's
Oh, this
true.
is a
Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't matter. I always say, hey, it's just sometimes, like, I had a real serious goal, and that was my blood pressure, and I had a couple warning signs about my blood work that came back. He says it's not bad. My doc says it's not bad, but you need to work on this because I know you're in the gym every day. I know you in the summertime you're out walking and running early morning. And he goes, but it's not adding up. And you got a couple of things that are yellow and red. They do the red green thing. So when I walked in there in October, uh, and we redid the blood work, he pulled me aside. We always shoot the shit about, hey, what you been doing? La la la. He's such a fantastic gentleman. Paul is. My doc, and all of a sudden he went cha-ching, and he whipped out the blood work, and he went, "I am so happy to see that you are doing what you said you would do."
Yeah.
Then I went to, you know, SplinterCon, and it all started over again,
Yeah,
baby.
sure did. Yeah, I remember that. Leading up to that, you hadn't been drinking at all.
For
And
about
I remember that.
2 months, almost 2.5 months, and it was wonderful. And I'm gonna do it again, and I do it every year, and it's awesome. You know.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes, how do you say, that's how I've maintained my fitness. Boy, I just see people get drawn down into ruts. And I'm just like, come on, man.
Well,
It's
so
simple. You
believe it or
don't,
not, that's
and I call them school days. Like, most of the time during the week, I don't drink. I don't need to. But boy, I tell you what, the beginning of the summer's coming. When I mow the lawn,
gotta have a
after I
beer.
mow the lawn, I like to have a beer.
Yeah.
You
I
know, I
One
don't
of
know
the
what it is.
reasons, one of the
It's a
things
trigger.
you just mentioned, you getting in a rut and getting off uh, your normal routine, is because after going through that whole program and barely drinking at all, and none for that 1 month, it was religious. Like every morning, up, no problems at the gym, even earlier than I go now. And then after I kind of got off that, and I was like, okay, I can actually have a couple of these things and not, just completely go off track. um, that started to turn into more often, and that started to turn into more drinks, and then not wanting to get up in the morning and being really lazy when it came to time to get up, and not having that discipline to get up no matter what, and then going to the gym and feeling like crap, and then that's when I'm like, okay, I'm starting to go the opposite
So
direction again.
at least you're catching yourself. Snap the hell out of it and just, get back on it.
All right, after this weekend.
Okay. I'm with you.
Deal.
Okay.
I did want to mention one more thing before we wrap this up, because this
Okay.
is exciting.
I'm gonna go get some Michelob Ultra for next
Yeah,
weekend.
I have some in my fridge right now, and it's taken everything in me not to go drink them. Um, I did have a call with Felder today,
Oh, wicked.
about the sliding table saw. I know we
Nice.
talked about some of the other things, but that is going to happen. I actually got the green light today, um, and they're just finalizing the details and all of that stuff. So I'm really, really stoked
Cool.
about that. We were kind of talking footprint and
Mm.
size and what the differences were going to be. There is one thing I'm a little concerned about, because footprint wise, it will stick out more. It doesn't change necessarily the footprint, but the crosscut fence on the outrigger does come out quite a bit more than the one. But he was like, if you really wanted to, you could modify it.
Uh,
You can cut it whatever length you want. You can cut it whatever
mm,
length you want. So if you want it to take up the exact same footprint, you would have to modify it, but you're going to lose the capacity that you would have if you didn't do it, because this new setup will give me the ability to cross cut 8-foot sheets
yep.
with the scale and with support on the wood and
Yeah,
everything. So
that's a. It sounds like it's a true squaring saw.
yeah, this thing, whew, man, I've been using the crap out of it on this built-in project. It's been amazing, but this Felder is just going to be a completely different level. Completely different level.
Sweet. Are you gonna fly out there to get any training on it or anything?
No, no, I don't know, maybe. They're actually having a big open house this weekend, and I actually planned on going to it until I realized it was the same weekend as JLC. So, hopefully within the next 3 to 4 months, it'll be gone. But the reason why I wanted to bring it up on here was because we already talked to them, and Felder will be selling my K3, just like we did with the A326 that they loaned me. A341 is different because I paid for that, but my K3 will be for sale. It will be at a significant discount, and you would be buying it directly from Felder. So I'm throwing that out there as an option for anybody that might be somewhat local to me and would be interested in purchasing that saw and would be able to come pick it up. Start hitting me up now, because that way I can keep whoever that is in the loop.
Cool.
I wanted to offer it here though first before I go online and put the feelers out there.
Cool.
So,
And the important part is able to get up.
I think they've talked to me about like the ability to maybe create it and ship it, and they'll have a company come out and do all that stuff. But that's just a much bigger expense that whoever bought it would probably pay for. So,
Yep.
somebody relatively local, that would obviously be the preferred method. But you could get that saw at a discounted rate.
Way cool.
So cool. All right. Well, Nicole was very adamant about make sure you're done on time because I want to go do my run. So I said, okay.
Nice.
So that's going to do it for this episode, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I'll let you do it. 177. 177.
It's 177. So I think Ben was on for about 75 or 76. And then Ronnie came on. No, Ronnie came on in the 70s, I think.
Yeah, I think Ben left in the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe
It's been that long. Yeah.
When did we start this? In 2020?
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I'd have to go back and look at the old episodes.
Yeah, I think we started in like the summer of 2020.
It's been a long time. And here we are, still trucking along.
Yeah, baby. Don't forget, everybody listening, SplinterCon.
SplinterCon.
Con.
If you're interested in purchasing a ticket and you are a patron and you can't find where the links are, please send me a direct message or reach out to somebody on Discord, and I will make sure that you have the information you need in order to attend.
And anybody listening on Apple and Spotify, and you're not a patron, become a patron so you can come to SplinterCon.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hoot.
Yeah. And I'm going to say right now, the prices of the tickets will go up on 1 May.
Gotcha.
1 May, if there's any left by then.
Cool.
We're letting it ride as long as possible. All right.
Okay, everybody. Bye-bye.
Mr. Sedge, I'll see you in 48 hours.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.